This week's episode of TRS is brought to you by TradePub.com
and GoDaddy.com
and Netflix. The fact is, he's a sponsor, and you sign a contract with him guaranteeing him certain concessions, one of them being a spot on your show.
That's where I see things just a little differently. Contract or no, I will not bow to any sponsor.
I'm sorry you feel that way, but that's just the nature of the beast.
Maybe I'm wrong about this one, but to me the beast does not include selling out. Alex, you know what I'm talking about, right?
It's like people only do things because they get paid. And that's just really sad.
I can't talk about it anymore. It's giving me a headache.
Here, take 2 of these.
Ah, Nuprin. Little, yellow, different.
Look, you can stay here in the big leagues and play by the rules, or you can go back to the farm club in Aurora. It's your choice.
Yes, and it's the choice of a new generation.
Three rad dudes with nothing better to do get abducted by the crew of the Starship Alpha 2. They're from the planet Q, which, due to a space-time loop, is stuck in 82 and must be rescued. They need our heroes to discuss the latest news and give their reviews of games and movies too. Sure hope you're not confused. We swear this is all true, not just the premise too. The Totally Rad Show.
Totally rad show, totally rad, totally rad show, totally rad, totally rad show, totally rad, totally rad show, totally rad show.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Totally Rad Show, episode number 36. I'm Alex Albrecht.
I'm Jeff Canada.
I'm Dan Trachtenberg.
The Totally Rad Show is your weekly dose of all things rad. We go down to the local farmer's market, pluck out the rad fruit, vegetables for Dan, mix it all together in a blender. Don't tell Dan there's vegetables, I mean fruit. And what we come out with is the raddest shake ever invented. We call it
Delicious.
radish.
A radish?
It's a radish shake. Doesn't take anything like radishes, because it's
Is
not
it
why it's
rad?
called that.
Well, it's radish.
Yeah, it's radish. So we're back from our holiday vacations.
A wonderful time. Was
One of the
Virtually.
things we did that is going to be really cool that people are going to see is the San Diego rocket race.
We don't want to get into too much detail off the top because it's
Right.
going to be surprising.
That's super
Let's
cool.
just say it was a weekend jaunt down to the San Diego area.
Yes.
My parents have a house down there, so we crashed on the.
Always enjoyable.
Always enjoyable.
Met Alex's sister.
Oh yeah, met
One
my
of
little,
your sisters.
my little sister Olivia.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
It was like seeing your teacher in a supermarket. It was like, wow, you're a real person. You have like family and stuff.
Yeah, I'm not an orphan anomaly.
Right.
Also because she used to be your teacher and we saw her in the supermarket.
Yeah, it was
It
odd.
was very odd.
Yeah.
I did not know
I was
you
like,
were that
Dad,
young.
Oh my God.
She taught me geometry and how to love.
Also, we should mention our
You know, we should talk about our background.
What's our
Background from your buddy.
Oh yeah, Derek Letter.
Yeah.
Dude,
Sounds
how
like it.
awesome is this?
This is a
Duck or something.
one of the coolest ones
What,
we've
me?
ever done.
I'm the one?
Or maybe I was the
Well,
one.
we have to say that
Hunchback.
one of the reasons that's really cool about it is that it's a superhero and it's got a little namey tag.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
It says Dan on it, so he said specifically so
And
that
email had nothing to do with me.
When Dan's using his superpower, which requires you to read his name backwards and then pluralize it, it has the name tag already written.
Yeah.
Very cool. Very, very cool.
Yeah,
Well,
thanks, bro. It was
Yes,
awesome.
amazing. And there's so much more amazing stuff to do in the show. We gotta get
Well,
to it.
let's get to it.
So, this week in movies, we're talking about Southland Tales. I should say that you guys were expecting us to talk about The Mist, I'm sure. But because of Thanksgiving and having to shoot at awkward times, Southland Tales is in limited release. So we were able to catch it in our city. It might be out in your city. It's the follow-up to Donnie Darko. So Richard Kelly made a big splash with Donnie Darko, which wasn't so big in theaters, but was huge on DVD and became sort of one of these cult movies that people always talk about. And
You
Jerry
talked about
was in it.
You talked
that's
about
right,
the,
Jerry was in it.
You talked about the long history when we talked about the trailer.
Right, so I don't want to go into all that
I mean,
again.
but you can mention a little bit of a.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Yeah, 'cause
it's been a long time in coming.
So Southland Tales premiered at Cannes a couple years ago. The Cannes Film Festival bombed, and
Had a 3-hour cut.
had a 3-hour cut. He then rewrote it. I don't know how long this was that we saw, but he
2.5.
he reshot things. He
know.
re-edited it and turned it into what we saw, which was 4 vignettes. Apparently, there's a graphic novel or there's a comic book series that is the first 3 stories, I guess, leading up to this. Alex, I want to hear your take on the movie and which was your favorite vignette.
Well, I thought Jeff wanted to go first.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Jeff, I forgot. Totally forgot.
That's okay. I want to hear Alex's take on the movie too.
I know.
But
And
I
by
just-
Jeff, I mean
Alex.
and by Alex,
By Alex, I mean Jeff.
I mean you.
okay.
So favorite vignette? Tell me that.
The vignette that started before I ever went into the. This is the worst movie I have ever seen, and I don't say that lightly. This movie, Southland Tales, made the Chupacabra Terror look like Citizen Kane.
Citizen Terror?
This is the worst. It's so bad. It's there are bad movies, but there's almost like there's bad movies where you can tell that nobody's trying really hard. But
yeah.
this movie takes itself so seriously that it becomes offensive. It's offensive how bad it is. This movie plays like the guy who wrote it, Richard Kelly. He's a young guy, right?
Very young.
Very young. It plays like that. It plays like it was written by someone who gets their news only by reading the headlines of news, you know, and then thinks they know a lot about the world, but they don't really read the rest of the article. They just read the headlines and really feels like they have something profound to say and buys into their own stuff. It's got the casting of the movie. It feels like Richard Kelly was like, oh my God, you know what I love? Saturday Night Live. Oh my God, do you remember, you know what, I love Princess Bride and I love Poltergeist and oh my God, those actors, nobody has seen those guys before. I'll get those guys. It is so pretentious and awful and completely unfollowable. It is contrived and yet you can't follow what's going on, and it's long, and it thinks it's being so smart, and it thinks it's telling you such profound things. It is. If you guys liked this movie, I may not be able to be friends with you anymore. It is atrocious and terrible. And the fact that I've been online and seen positive reviews for this movie make me question humanity.
Well, maybe that's its purpose, is to get this kind of debate happening.
Debate. Ugh.
I will take another train.
Where's your pipe that like blows bubbles?
I'll take another train, and that train is to Cocktown. No, this is the worst. This is what this is the kind of movie that makes me mad that nobody's paying me to make a movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Somebody paid this guy a shit ton of money to make this movie.
I don't know about that, but
But there's a lot of money that went
Fuck
into
more
this
than
movie.
I'm getting paid. Are you kidding me?
to make a movie, you're absolutely
Yeah,
right.
I mean, over multiple millions and millions of dollars. I mean, that's a shit ton of money. You know what I mean?
How much help
Well,
in the
hold on.
world could that money have? You know.
Well, let me just put it to you this way. First
Look at-
off,
there's
no
crying
fucking
babies
idea,
in China.
No fucking idea that there were vignettes.
Remember when I said episode 4?
Did not understand
and then it
what-
ended, and then
Nope.
episode 5
Nope.
came on.
Nope. Those were stupid chapter markers that Jesus came and gave me. I mean, it was like.
Oh, yeah, right.
Right. It wasn't. Those were not vignettes.
Right.
Those were like other things that don't make fucking
A
I
sense.
thought you
random
meant-
title card that
Right,
came up.
Exactly. And didn't even start with 1. I mean, it was like, what? We're on
No,
4?
because it's too smart for.
Yeah.
The acting was horrible. Although I
No, they
will
were
say,
trying really
no.
hard.
Well, no, they were doing what they were told. I will say, I'm not going to say that. There were a couple things that I did walk out of this movie with. Very few things.
All right, interesting.
One, I think The Rock could be a really good actor.
I agree.
If he was directed and put in the right thing.
The right thing.
He was very charismatic at times. There were moments where I was like, oh. if he works with the right people in the right project, he could be a star, right? I mean, more than he is now.
was trying really hard.
No, I know, and the other thing is, I will say, I took my hater pants off about Justin Timberlake.
Thank you. I was really hoping that you would. I'm really glad.
And it's one of the things that
This movie's the one that made you.
I know.
I've never seen any of the other movies.
I really want you to see his other.
No.
He's actually being
well,
good.
But I'm okay now going forward. I don't want to go back and then have to.
All right.
You know what I mean?
No,
but like the music video weird interstitial thing that was fucking retarded.
Yeah.
But the fact that it happened when it was happening, I was like, Justin Timberlake is a good actor. I was like, this is because I'm totally like engrossed in what he's doing, and I'm buying it, and it's fucked up, and you know what I mean. Shouldn't have been in the movie. This movie shouldn't have been made. But yeah,
Okay, now it's Dan's turn to talk. But before you talk, just really quickly, I want to say the way we do these movies is we go to them and we promise not to talk to each other after. And we try to hide what we're going to think. So it's a surprise. I think you guys probably pick up on that if you watch the show. Okay, this movie, I was physically unable to hide how I felt, and Alex was physically unable to hide how he felt.
Yeah.
We shared looks of please shoot me in the face, make this hurting stop. So I got up after the movie and I was like, well, I couldn't hide what I felt about this movie. And Dan goes, well, don't be too sure. So now, here's the moment of truth where I find out if Dan and I can still be friends.
It was bizarre because I was completely being sarcastic to you. And Alex was like, oh, see, we don't know how he thinks. I'm like, and I didn't want to correct you because then we were really talking
about
and
it.
I was like, oh,
you hated it, right?
Sarcastic. Dude,
Okay.
The worst.
You scared me. I was scared.
Dude,
for our friendship.
no.
For our friendship, Dan.
Oh, come on.
I don't know. You do weird things.
Yeah, dude.
He does weird things.
I was mad at you because you thought I might like this movie. I was like, how does Alex have that little respect for me that he thinks I would like that? Oh, no, I don't know that. But whatever hateful words I said to the people that made Pirates of the Caribbean 3, I take it back. Because
all those words are reserved now for a new movie.
real. And I don't feel the same way. I don't get the same impression about Richard Kelly that you drew. But I did feel very similarly. Before I go into what I felt similar to, this movie made no sense. In a world of movies like Mulholland Drive and Primer are the two movies that I think of the most confusing movies I ever saw, though I enjoyed them.
Yeah.
This is those movies combined times a bajillion.
With no point. No, at least with those movies, there was some.
It's worse than no point.
And I really feel, and maybe I was affected by knowing the history, but I really feel like he shot the scenes with one intention, and then in the editing room took shots or scenes from other scenes and put them all together and made it was almost anytime it started to make sense, someone said something that made absolutely no sense.
And they referred as an intention or some sort of twist that we never saw that happen.
I don't even know what happened. I didn't care. No, there was no storytelling. It was story throwing at you.
There was freaking voiceover that just tells you what you're supposed to believe. I sat down and 14 seconds into this movie, I went, oh dear God, abort the mission.
Yeah.
How do we get out of this? I'm sorry, Dan.
It looks like he took shots from the comic book and put them in the thing.
Did he write the comic book?
I don't know.
Yeah,
he wrote it. No, he wrote it.
Oh, good.
But look,
because I didn't know if he raped
he's a
somebody
talented
else's
writer. He
thing.
wrote very good things, and every actor in this movie has been good in other things.
Well, that's true.
The Rock has been good in other things. Justin Timberlake has been good. I think that Shaw William Scott guy actually, I think will be good.
He was the best actor in the movie.
All the actors were trying really hard.
The dude from One Crazy Summer Christopher Lambert, Highlander, was in this movie.
But
that's all proof that he was like.
I think he was trying to Travolta the entire cast. And
Sherry
and the other
O'Terry
thing, I am shocked. There's no way that many people. The cast was. There's so many people in this movie. There is no way that many people understood the script. So everyone got involved. Most people had to have got involved, banking on the director.
Oh, Donnie Darko.
Well,
they wanted to be
Donnie Darko. Right. They were like,
this
well,
brings up
I don't
a
get the
point.
script, but I like this director and this cast.
I guarantee you, they were not given the whole movie.
Actually, I will
they
say
got their shit.
There brings up a point that Jerry made because Jerry was in Donnie Darko.
Right.
And he made a point when we were leaving because we were like, what the fuck what? And he said when he auditioned for Donnie Darko, he actually auditioned for a bigger part. he read the script to Donnie Darko and it blew him away. He was like, this is like Sixth Sense good. This is going to be brilliant. Like the script was so amazing.
Right.
Then he saw the movie and he was like, oh, what this isn't even, this has nothing to do with the script. Like, and so one of the things maybe that the original script was really good, and the people signed on, and then he just kind of went,
It felt so piecemeal that I wish.
It's
I
terrible.
actually think Kevin Smith was the best actor in the movie. Wait, that was
We
that didn't make any sense.
gotta move. I wanted to bring up something. I've been wanting to bring this up for the longest time.
Oh.
And it's Alex said something a few weeks ago in video games that he felt was sort of like getting something off his chest.
yes. Oh, yes, the fact
About the fact that you have a hard time playing video games by yourself.
Yeah.
We had to talk about video games in the movie section.
Yeah,
Bring it
we
up.
do.
Let's bring it around.
So
Circle the wagons.
I have something that I've been wanting to get off my chest that I feel is a similar feeling that I've come to a realization that I don't like movie trailers.
What?
I don't want to see them. I don't want to watch them. The only movie trailers that I want to watch are for movies that I don't want to see. Movie trailers tell me too much of the plot. I like a teaser, and then if I know I want to see this movie, I don't want to know anything else. So frequently in the last few weeks, I've had to close my eyes
I
during.
remember you this is a new thing because you were like,
And I
I'm
will
not
freely
gonna.
admit
And
it.
it started with No Country for Old Men.
No, it's not. I've been
Blood
doing it
Money.
a long time.
Oh, okay.
If I know I want to
There will
see
be blood.
something,
Yeah, thank you.
for instance, in the No Country for Old Men review, you said, "Oh, that scene where the car blows up." You're like, "Oh yeah, that was in the trailer."
Right.
For me, that was epic. I didn't know that was coming. I didn't see it because I'd close my eyes every time a No Country for Old Men trailer came on. And maybe that's silly, and maybe I'm immature, but I'm telling you, it makes for a better viewing experience. If you think the movie's going to be good, I honestly feel like I don't want to see the trailer.
I wholeheartedly agree. /
Disagree.
It's a lot of punctuation.
disagree.
I don't know if you could do that.
I definitely every movie that I've seen, every great movie that I've seen, and not having seen the trailer, I think was amplified by not having any clue what would happen next. And I do try when I know I'm gonna see a movie, I try to avoid the trailer as much as possible.
For instance, I know that we're going to be talking about the Dark Knight trailer when it comes out. I have no desire to see the Dark Knight trailer. I'm going to be there day one. I'm going to see Dark Knight. I want to see it. I want to walk into that movie not knowing a frame because I feel that as a savvy moviegoer, the more movies I see, I can feel the beats that are in the trailer, and I can feel. A lot of times I'll see a trailer and go, that's the end of the movie.
But
I know that's the end of the movie.
But that's true. But sometimes too, there's. Well, I mean, I think I agree with you with teasers.
That was not true.
Teasers are different because the Rocky teaser that came out a couple years. There's some trailers that are far better than the movie.
Oh, of course.
And there's some trailers that are, even the No Country for Old Men trailer. I love the movie wholeheartedly, and I love that the trailer was great.
Yeah.
Like I love
Trailers
there's
get me
technology
excited about movies, even if I'm already excited. It like brings it up a notch for me.
Right.
Yeah.
And it also sometimes it lets you. Sometimes people go into movies and I walk out and they're like, "That was not what I was expecting." I'm like, "Did you see the trailer?" It's like I sometimes feel like the trailer sometimes tells you kind of where your head should be at when you walk into this.
Especially for No Time for Cholera, because otherwise you wouldn't have known it was about cholera. I can go either way. I mean, I get that but I get too much enjoyment out of watching trailers. I mean, I remember when Apple put up the trailer page for the first time, and I was like, there's a place I can go and just watch trailers, and it was really the first time besides seeing them in the front of movie theaters. Outside where the people would hold posters that were trailers.
You drive by, you're like, hey, look at that.
Yeah, and so for me, there are times when I'll spend an hour just sitting there watching the newest trailers without even thinking about it. And so there's some enjoyment I get out of that, but
Totally.
I don't know. I'm not going to stop watching them, but I
literally close my eyes, and I wish I could close my ears. Sometimes
Why don't you plug your ears?
But
There's
there's
nothing wrong with that.
smartly created trailers that you might be missing.
I agree.
Cloverfield trailer.
But I'm hoping that is not. I mean, that
I don't know,
teased
that's
me
the best
to get
one.
interested in the movie, and from now on, I don't want to see anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
Remember the Fifth Element teaser was just 5 in space?
Look at me.
Nope.
I'm ready to. Okay, so there's been a lot of video game releases in the last week or so, and we're not going to talk about any of them. Because we've been playing a little of Mass Effect, but we haven't played enough of it to really give us a good review. So we're going to hopefully do that next week, along with Rock Band.
Yeah.
And this week we're going to talk, we get a lot of people asking us to talk more about the Wii, because they like hearing Alex hate on it.
favorite platform to hate on.
We played
Even
a
though
little
it's
bit.
fun.
We played a little bit of the new Wii Zapper, which is comes with Link's crossbow training, and it turns your Wiimote and the nunchuck into a sort of light gun.
Sort of.
But they don't. It's Nintendo, so they don't like to use the word gun because gun is violent and violent is anti-child.
Oh.
Oh, that's why
Nice.
So
it's
it's a zapper because zapping is totally fine.
Especially with like taser.
Nothing wrong
Or
with
like,
zapping.
it reminds me of flies going to a blue light.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we checked that out, and we played a bunch of the Link's
Crossbow training.
crossbow training.
And-
Dan, did you have fun playing that?
No.
Not at all.
Not really, no.
Were you but you were a light gun guy, right?
Yeah, I love
Lethal
Lethal Enforcers, Revolution X, Revolution X,
Time Crisis.
Time Crisis, Virtua Cop,
Yep.
House of the Dead on my Dreamcast at home, even with the thing and the thing. So yeah, I enjoyed those, but I didn't enjoy this.
Why not? What makes this different than that?
Well, perhaps I wouldn't enjoy them as much now. That's very possible.
Oh,
I
you just-
might not be in this genre anymore.
Okay.
No, not even age. Like I don't know if I still like this kind of game.
Yeah.
But the gun, the Zapper itself, does not work as well as those guns did.
Mm-hmm.
The calibration felt very off. It just did not feel nearly as accurate as when I'm doing all that stuff, or used to do all that stuff. And it just was, Link's crossbow training was just target practice.
Well, yeah. I mean, I think as the game evolves, you get to walk around, and there's more. It's using the
Yeah.
same assets as.
I mean, I guess it's what any other, but yeah. Do we talk about Medal of Honor also, or
Well,
we're gonna go around and
yeah,
then
we're
we'll
gonna
do
go.
it? Okay.
around. So, what did you think of the crossbow training?
Same.
Yeah.
I mean-
no fun. No fun, Link.
You know, it's not that it wasn't fun. It just wasn't enough fun to. It was just a lot of hoo-ha and not a lot of ha. If you know what I mean.
No,
So
actually.
too much who?
Too much who. You know what I mean? That's a Doctor Who thing. Yeah, the Wii Zapper, the Zapper thing was not nearly as effective as a laser gun at all.
Or a light gun.
Or a light gun, yeah. Definitely not as good as a laser gun.
No, or your lightsaber.
Right, of course. You know, it just seemed very like hokey, like, well, we gotta have a shooting thing, so let's just make it the thing. But then they were like, well, it doesn't really work, we'll put it out anyway. You know what I mean? And it was really not very accurate. There were a lot of issues with calibration. You know, with the light gun, you just go bang, 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 it's calibrated. You know what I mean? With this, it was like, you gotta do all these hoo-ha. And then with the next one, which we'll talk about as well, you couldn't even didn't seem to be a calibration option.
Yeah.
Maybe we just missed it.
Did you like
So-
that? Oh, sorry.
So I just, you know, it just wasn't. It just was sort of like, oh, I've done that now. I feel like how I'm gonna feel about the Wii standing on a board thing.
Yeah, we fit. I actually
Come on.
expected to hate it.
Oh, okay.
So
Oh.
maybe that's why I was like a little pleasantly surprised that it was not. I actually had a little fun. You're right. It feels mushy. The
Yeah.
controls feel mushy. It's another one of those Wii games where I was having fun because we were all
Making
together
fun of the game.
and like I tried to beat my score and the multiplayer and like it's all.
Yeah,
it
if you were
seems
by
like
yourself.
a fun hanging out. But I would never spend 2 minutes playing by myself. And it's that the thing that's frustrating for me is that like I'm so close and I just have to like keep my arms still.
Yes.
You know how that is?
Precision stuff, I hate it. Trauma Center on the
Yeah.
frickin'
Yeah,
DS,
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
dude, I suck at that.
But but Link's, it was a little
Also
bit of fun because it
where
felt
you
like a
hold
mini
it
game.
And your trigger finger is not on the guide hand. Your trigger finger is in front.
Yeah.
So you almost feel like you want your dominant hand on the trigger finger, but you want to keep your dominant hand in the back, so you're using your non-dominant trigger finger, which is why it was sort of effed up, because all four of us, the cat tried it once, but all four of us,
Cat
when
was
we picked
good.
it up, we all went, oh, that's wrong. Oh no, that's really wrong. So I guess this is as good as it's gonna get.
Yeah.
I mean, we all did that. We were like, this feels bad.
Yeah.
That feels horrible. I guess I got to do it like this.
Yeah, but I mean, and the fun I had in the Link thing was because it felt like mini games. When we
Yeah.
tried the Wii Zapper with Medal of Honor 2 Heroes, or Medal of Honor Heroes 2, which also supports the Wii Zapper control scheme, that game is the opposite of fun.
I love how your posture.
Yeah. I feel bad because I mean I just went off crazy on Southland Tales.
Like Mary McPoopy Pants over here.
Yeah, it's a
This is
negatory good buddy.
thing.
I mean that game is virtually unplayable. It's
Really?
you liked it?
Yeah, I mean, I thought.
You're lying.
I thought you guys. I'm the actor. You know what reminded me of? I was thinking when I was a little kid. I remember.
Really hard.
I remember.
It was that feeling. Let me just show you.
Actually, that's a true story. When I was a kid, this kid was beating up other kids on the. I mean, kids a lot on the kindergarten.
Yeah.
He was beating everyone up, and I was like I was like, hey, let me help you beat everyone up. It was at recess, and he turned to me and he did the Karate Kid kick in my nuts, and my balls turned purple.
Oh.
I swear to God, I went to the bathroom. I was like, my balls are purple. I just showed my mom. I vividly remember this. My balls turned purple.
That is Medal of
Okay,
Honor.
no. But when I was younger, I remember you wrote in like really big, the line, the rule.
Yeah,
Not college rules, like the other.
Like double
it was
with
huge.
the,
And all I wanted to do was I was so excited for one day I could write in college in like the thin rule. So now I feel like an adult.
Right.
This game feels like the giant rolled paper.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or Nintendo or something. Everything's like big rocks that you hide behind. The guys are all like bubbly and like it's all crisp and clear and huge, and you just move around. There's not that much around, and you're just.
You know what it is? Call of Duty 4 is Lego, and this game is Duplo.
Duplo,
I
the
don't
big
know what
ass
Duplo
Lego.
is.
Oh,
That
you
sounds
would love
great.
that analogy.
Oh, I know what the little kids use.
Yeah, it's a Duplo.
Yeah.
It's garbage, right?
Oh, whoa, yeah. I mean, you know, there's Nazis, but they don't seem to be caring about shooting me. They want to shoot walls and shit.
Yeah.
You
The
know,
only cool thing is pushing forward to punch. That's
sure,
kinda
I
fun.
didn't even really do that. I mean, maybe like this, but it's like there's so much about the Wii that you are forced to do that is not fun. And it's like, after a while, I was like, my shoulders hurt. And I was like, what the fuck am I doing? I'm 31 years old. I shouldn't have to do this. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
And, you know, and I like the Wii. Like I said, my girlfriend plays more video games now than she probably ever has in her entire life because of the Wii. I owe the Wii a lot.
We still love Mario.
Yeah, no, we
Yeah,
do.
of
The
course,
games like
Mario's
Mario,
fun, yeah.
amazing. A platform, amazing. But these other things, it's like pulling out Twister. It's a party game. It's like, let's
but
go
you
play
don't pull
Twister.
out the Medal of Honor Twister.
Exactly.
That you're like, okay, you're Nazis.
Well, that's what's happening.
So you stand on red, blue, and yellow. I am the Allied forces.
Yeah.
You're Italian. You're German. Like, and it's like, and then all of a sudden it's like, okay, now we got little pieces.
Left
and we roll
leg,
dice.
France.
Yeah, and you're like, oh,
Right arm,
yeah.
Normandy.
Oh, and I got blown off. And it's like, what? I don't even know how the game plays.
Oh boy. Well, that's a review of
Yeah.
the Zapper. Hey guys, I think we should start a band.
Really? Should we call it the Dan Trachtenberg Experience featuring Alex and Jeff?
I think we should call it Wild Stallions.
Take it. Taken epically. So we got a rock band. As you can see,
We all have our role to play.
we do. Dan has his drum roll to play.
We're currently looking for a bassist.
Yep. The most excited I've been. I'm a huge fan of karaoke. Been a fan. Sang it in Japan with some crazy Japanese people. Amazing. I actually was a really big fan of the Karaoke Revolution games, but they were not very popular. I mean, not a lot of people bought them. When Rock Band was announced, this, my friend, was the thing I was most excited for.
Well, I'm a big fan of Animal from Muppet Babies.
Yes.
So I'm really looking forward to
Right, and you drool, just like he does.
And
So
all
it's
you
perfect.
say is woman.
And I have orange fuzz.
All right, let's rock. Let's talk more rock, guys.
Like
Oh, you can make him like a wood elf. Or a night elf. Whoa.
But we're not on Xbox Live, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but I can't call myself skank in this game. It's offensive. Skank is not offensive to anybody. I'm calling myself
It's a
it.
girl.
Oh. That looks like animal.
Yeah.
What? TRS experience isn't classy? Skank!
Mike. Laser. Player number 4. Okay, there I am. I won!
You're already out.
What happened?
You screwed up.
Who fell? It wasn't me. I was doing awesome. I had things.
I was doing great. All right, let's not. There's no band infighting.
You guys suck. You never liked my experience.
Listen, I'm
and my
going
quality.
solo. Dan, you're not doing well. Here we go, baby.
Your drug is a heartbreaker. The sun is drowning in the flood. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You're back there.
No, I'm not.
So let's do one more and then switch.
I need another drum one to get out of my brain.
Oh fuck. Oh god.
Find a rhythm. I wish I was special, but I'm
That's not easy. I should maybe be playing on easy first. I don't know.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know. I felt like you were like locking
this-
in, and then you.
I can lock. Yeah, but yeah. Oh wait.
This song goes out to all the ladies.
Fuck.
What? All right, you're doing good so far. You play forgiveness, watching now he come. He doesn't look a thing like Jesus when you were young. When you were young.
I can play that one.
I did the drumming thing all the way through. We rock. Well, so we rocked the band.
Yeah, this game is a blast for multiplayer. I mean, you feel, when it's rolling, you feel like a rock band. I mean, you really do.
Yeah,
It's
when we
like,
all sort of gelled. The last
Yeah.
one for me, I really enjoyed that. I felt.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
And-
felt like I could really rock that. Also, Sabotage when we were really in the pocket. I still think there's something wrong with the drums. I really feel like when we did the open solo part,
right.
what I was hitting, when I was hitting it, was not instantly coming out of that.
There's a couple of things that I think they did that was really, really smart. First of
Yeah.
all, they made the band tour mode like a racing game, where
Oh, that's interesting.
you'll have to do like a Grand Prix type thing, where you don't know what 5 songs are coming up, but
Yeah.
you have to do 5 songs, and you got to like 4-star all of them in order to proceed.
That's really
you know?
cool. Yeah.
This is such a great way to replay songs that you've already gotten past, but make that essential to progressing.
It makes it a game. So it's not.
Yeah.
Guitar Hero is just sort of like you want to play a song to hear the song and you have fun playing it.
Well,
This
and
makes
you
the
want to
game
just
out of
get
it.
to unlocking the other songs so that you can play them with your friends when you're ready.
The other cool thing that they did that is a departure from Guitar Hero 3 or any of the Guitar Heroes is that star power, which they call like energy crisis.
Yeah,
or something.
energy. Yeah.
You
Rock
don't,
energy.
once you go into star power, you can still accrue more star power. So you can keep
That's cool.
compounding it and
Yeah.
it'll keep. But what did you think of the guitar? It's very different.
I don't. It's maybe I need to get used to it, but as of playing it for maybe 5 or 6 songs, it's not. It's cushioned here, this thing, so it's not. You don't like hit it. It's like soft.
Yeah, but you can be very light with it. You can
Yeah,
be very
right.
feathery.
Like I think I have to play it a different way, and my hand right now hurts because I'm not playing it that way, so it's hurting me. It may be the nature of the beast, but it's very hard to hear the song and enjoy the song. It's definitely fun that we're all playing, but I kind of want to enjoy what I want. I feel like you might be singing something and it might be funny because it's not right or whatever. I can't hear you because I'm so focused
It
on
almost
doing
seems
my
like it's
thing.
going to be really great when there's 15 people in the room.
yes.
Yeah.
And 4 of them at a time are running up to do it and rocking it. I will say the drums are really loud.
Right.
Just the clack, clack, clack.
So I'm
is
hearing your
constant.
clack, clack,
Yeah,
clack, not
you
the
should have
drums
been the
of the
practice drum more.
I think that's cool, and I love
I
being,
think that is
being able
cool,
to
yeah.
save each other.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
Yeah, saving each
And
other is
Now, how
cool.
come the mic guy never saved the drum guy?
You can.
See, I felt like I was launching my power and it wasn't doing it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's supposed to happen.
Well, we're going to have a really good time. We're going to play this a hell of a lot more. We want to thank Travis and Jeff from EA, our EA boys, for helping us out. And
Yeah, very
we're
cool.
excited to play a little more Rock Band
Great
tomorrow.
set list too, man. I'm so excited for
Oh.
tomorrow. So if you've watched our show for a while and you've seen our comic book section, you know that what it has been for a while is me recommending to the guys something that I've already read,
Which we've loved.
which I've loved. But
I've loved too.
I thought it would be cool to have all of us read something that I had never read or any of us had never read.
Okay.
And so what I'm hoping will happen over the next few weeks, months, is I'm going to reach out to some people and in the industry and try to get them to recommend stuff. One of our friends is, I always love when Colbert says, friend of the show.
Nice.
Friend of the show, Ed Piscor. I think I'm pronouncing his last name correctly. I
Yeah,
hope so.
Ed.
He's the artist on American Splendor, the Harvey Pekar book.
Oh,
that
which-
put you
yeah,
and
me and Kevin are going to be
the
in,
issue.
which is
Yep.
crazy.
He's a fan. Enjoys
I like
the
that
show.
they
and we're a
started
fan of
this
his.
like war of who could put us in the comics.
Yeah, well, we haven't
more.
talked
You know
about
what I
that too
mean?
much yet.
Well, but the fact that like it started with
Yeah, the Captain America
Captain
comic.
America, and then this,
Yeah.
Ed sent us in and was like, "Damn it, I would." No, I wasn't first.
It's cool. So we're a big fan of his too, and he had a couple of recommendations for us of stuff that's sort of outside my wheelhouse, which I love. It's not superhero-y, it's more of the independent scene, which he's real tied into. So the first thing we read was Black Hole.
Oh, we're starting there.
Yeah, which is Charles Burns' sort of magnum opus, I guess you would say. Very independent. He did the art and wrote it. It took him 10 years.
Wow.
The first bit of it came out in 1995, and he finished it in 2005.
Wow.
Which is amazing when you see it because it's all very consistent.
It's very linear, yeah.
And it doesn't look like it was done over that length of time.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's a tough book to kind of sum up quickly, but basically it's a coming-of-age type of a tale in the 70s. Drugs, and it takes place in a universe where there's this bug that's only kind of casually referred to that people can get that causes kind of weird genetic mutations. It's a horror novel, but it's also kind of about being a teenager and figuring out who you are.
It's not that much of a horror. There's horror elements, but it's more of the. I think it's more the coming of age than the horror. But
Well, yeah, I mean, it's definitely intended to be a horror novel.
that worked.
Or a graphic novel, I should say. I'm very curious to hear what you think about it, Dan, because you're a fan of blankets and some other. I mean,
I'm a fan of this.
I love blankets. Also, throw rugs.
I'm a big fan of this genre. I like the black and white indie true life
very personal tales.
Blankets,
Yeah.
the best.
Craig Thompson?
Craig Thompson.
blankets yet.
It's a coming of age, awesome. I read it twice, once in one sitting. Cried. I wept, as Jeff would say.
I would say that.
Blankets. Adrian Tomine did Sleepwalk and Summer Blind, and Harvey Pekar wrote The Quitter, which is awesome. Box Office Poison.
Yeah.
What do you
All
think of this
greats
one?
of this genre. This one, I kind of iffy on. I liked it, didn't love it. It actually did feel like a horror book to me a little bit. Every time I read it, I felt very uncomfortable and weird.
Yes.
You know, like the atmosphere of it just made me feel
Icky, right?
icky.
Yeah.
Um,
I mean, from the very first page, when it starts with a dissection of a frog.
Right,
you're just
right,
like,
right. It's an interesting. Is allegory the right word? I guess.
Tale?
Depends on what you're
It's
saying.
interesting. It's all right. The dialogue between people never felt ultra true, but moments felt very real.
Mm-hmm.
Something interesting I want to tell you guys is they're making a movie out of it.
Based on this?
Based on this Black Hole.
Wow.
The guy, I think the director, he did High Tension and the Hills Have Eyes remake, which I loved. So I love the director. The writers, Neil Gaiman and Roger Avery, who we just talked about. They did the Beowulf. They adapted Beowulf.
Wow.
What did you think of it?
I may have liked it more than Dan. I have to say I've never experienced anything like it. I mean, and maybe that's why I was able to like it a little bit more than him, because I've never. I mean, my experiences for comic books have been very limited, mainly Marvel and DC.
Superhero stuff, yeah.
To then go into this really strange, totally drugged out world. But for some reason, I kind of got to that point where I was like, oh, great, I'm going to bed. I get to read more of the story and kind of see where it goes. You know what I mean? And there was definitely a lot of twists and turns that I did not quite get on the wagon with. Who was what and how did that guy get his thing up there?
Yeah, it's almost a little bit. It's almost a little difficult to maintain who's who because the art style is not very distinctive when it comes to the.
Yeah, the characters aren't.
And you don't have any color
super...
to help you out with that either.
Right. Yeah. So and then once I got like the names and stuff, and I mean, to me, I don't think this is my cup of tea. As being a meat and potatoes man myself.
Yeah.
I'd rather see a guy in tights kicking somebody in the nuts.
I tend to agree with you. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm very much capes and cowls. I've said before. I'm glad I read this. I would never have sought it out and found it, had it not been recommended to us by Ed. Thanks. It like you said, it's an experience that is very interesting. And and it's
I'm
one
glad
of those books.
I read it. I'm really
Exactly.
glad I read it.
It's one of those books that I didn't love while it went through it, but it stayed with me.
Oh,
and I kept
God, yeah.
thinking about
Oh,
it, and
yeah.
it was kind of disturbing. The last half, or the last third, is so... The last third really elevated it for me because it is very disturbing, and it turns into... There's murders that happen, and it turns very, very dark.
Yeah.
And I think that is probably, unfortunately, where the majority of the film is going to land. Although with Neil Gaiman, you never know. And Roger Avery, those guys are kind of courageous that way. But yeah, I mean, I can't like wholeheartedly recommend it to everyone, but it is.
It's definitely not for everyone. It's a very specific.
It's very highly regarded in the field, and it is. So it's something you might want to check out.
Should we mention, just because people have no idea what it is, should we mention a little, like what the deal is with it? Like it's teenagers. There's a disease. There's a sexually transmitted disease, but
it's kind of a metaphor.
It's
for
what its
AIDS.
side effects. What its side effects are that they're pet. Do we want to say that?
Genetic mutations. I said that too.
You said genetic mutations.
Yeah,
but
You should probably listen when I'm talking.
Okay, no, but I guess it didn't.
thinking about
no one
something
said when Alex said that they have parts in their bodies that.
Yeah, so some
Genetic mutations doesn't. I used to.
It has different manifestations depending on the kid. Some people shed their skin.
Right.
Guy has a little mouth in his neck.
Right.
Chick with a tail.
So things like that.
Hot chick with a tail.
The other book that was recommended by Ed was a book called Street Angel, which is by Jim Rugg and Brian Maruca, I believe his name is. Yeah. Anyway, it's another very indie book. I think it's first work for both of those guys, if I'm not mistaken. And it is it's about a kind of 14, 15-year-old orphan who is the world's best martial artist and skateboarder.
Yes.
So she's sort of this homeless street kid who is also the most badass ever. And it's almost like this kind of Kill Bill, making fun of the tropes of comic books. And the collected work that we read is a collection of these sort of one-and-done stories that are single-issue stories that each one, it takes a completely different comic book trope and does a spin on it. Sort of how Kill Bill does with martial art movies, where...
Oh, that would have been good to know.
You didn't get that by reading it?
Nope.
Well, what'd you think? Did you like it?
Not very much.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I really thought you would.
I thought you were gonna love it.
Yeah, no. I thought. I was actually dreading me talking about this book because I feel like it's a book that people should read.
I know what you're saying.
And I don't want to say that I don't like it because I want to like it so much. I mean, dude, Dr. Pangea, who wants to bring the planet back to
it's smart.
But then it fails. It falters for me because it goes to that next level of it's like they have these great ideas and then the execution is sort of like it's like one step too far it's like one step too far in that direction for me to be able to appreciate it. So it's like it's all about ninjas and there's there's badass ninjas and then they're like ninjas playing basketball and I'm like, that's one step too far for me. You know what I mean? If it was ninjas out of boxes and they came out of nowhere for no apparent reason, I'm like, oh, you're making fun of the fact that ninjas are always in it. But then it's just like, hey, what's up, Jim? How are you? And I've got a ninja mask, so I'm a ninja. It's like, it was just one step too far with everything. And so it made me feel like that's not funny. I don't
like
find
it?
that funny.
Loved it.
Yeah.
It reminded me of. It continues on the trend that RealUltimatePower.net started, and it feels like a 12-year-old. It feels like me when I was in 6th grade and I was bored in class, and me and my buddy would write stories to each other, and we would like keep on trying to amp it up with one another. It's like ninjas, and they're flipping, and they do flips, and they cut each other's heads off, and then I'm a skateboarder, and I really kick ass, and like it's just like fun. It's just childlike daydream fun, but also with some clever, meta stuff.
I really liked it too, and I love the art. It is such a great kinetic energy to everything. When she breaks out, and this 14-year-old girl who's kind of a homeless girl and just kind of doesn't care about anything, very apathetic, and then all of a sudden she flips out and kills everybody, Real Ultimate Power style. And the way that's drawn is spectacular and just really fun. And it does do really smart things like. Taking that black exploitation character and fast forwarding him into his 70s, 60s and 70s. Yeah. Aphrodisiac. Yeah. And fast forwarding him into an old man and seeing what he would be like, and it's really cool. I recommend it. I think it's fun.
I think Dan said something that helps me make my point very concise, which is I wanted a book that I would write with the feel of that, rather than reading what I would write at that age. And I felt like this book was trying to elicit that feeling, but give me a book that was written by somebody my age, for somebody my age. And what I felt I got was a book that was written for you in 6th grade.
Oh, interesting.
And that's what I meant by it went too far. Like, I wanted it to be more like
mature.
Yeah, well, that it knows it's talking
more
to me
self-referential,
rather than talking to me, harkening back to my childhood, rather than talking to the child I was. And I feel like it was talking to the child that I was.
Interesting. Well, thanks, Ed, for those recommendations.
Yeah,
you should check out. He's working on a graphic novel right now with Harvey P. Carr called Macedonia, which I'm sure will be cool, and we should cover on the show too.
Awesome.
Yeah. Thanks. Before we get to our email, we'd like to thank our sponsors. We'd like to thank TradePub.com, where you can sign up for a bunch of free subscriptions to tech and entertainment magazines.
That's awesome.
It's actually a really great service. I mean, it's completely free. They have Information Weekly, PC Mag, Television Weekly, a whole bunch of lists. And so if you head over to trs.tradepub.com,
that's like all the stuff that we talk about on our show. It'd be cool to get magazines about that too.
Maybe there's a movie mag.
Well, there's a movie place that you can go to rent things. I just said a bunch of nouns.
There's a movie forecast place.
There was a verb there too.
So
Yes.
Netflix. It's awesome. 75,000 titles,
Nice.
which is crazy.
We like that.
HD, DVD, and Blu-ray.
360,
40 shipment centers.
PS3.
40 shipment centers, which basically means that you want to rent a DVD, you can get it like the next business day.
That's very cool.
Which is awesome. $4.99 and up, the service, but 2 weeks free trial if you don't already have Netflix. I don't know what you're doing without it already. No strings attached. And www.
Oh, free shipping, right? Free shipping.
Netflix.com/TRS, free shipping.
www is very important.
I have a pretty cool sponsor too. We have GoDaddy as our sponsor, GoDaddy.com. If you want a .com for yourself, you're making a website or something, check out GoDaddy.com. They have $1.99 for a .com, and they also have cool web hosting plans and easy web building software. And if you use our promo code TRS and the number 1, it helps us. It'll help you get discount.
Yeah. We actually get a lot of emails about people who have ideas for websites or web companies and they're trying to develop. So this is a great opportunity. Sign it up. Send us an email when you're up and running.
Let's do the email.
We'll take a look. Speaking of sending us an email, Andy F. from St. Cloud, Minnesota sent us one. Shall I read it?
You shall.
All right. He says, hey guys, I grew up in the sticks when I was young, leading to a somewhat sheltered life. We only got a couple of TV stations and very rarely saw any movies except for the few that we owned, which we watched repeatedly. It's embarrassing how many times I've seen The Sound of Music and Crocodile Dundee.
Funny.
Which do you choose between the two?
Crocodile Dundee.
Crocodile Dundee. Done. All right. I mean,
That's
Sound
not
of Music.
a knife. That's a knife.
That's a knife. Fast forward to now, I am 28 years old, trying to go back and catch up on all the movies I should have seen by now. I was wondering if you guys could each give me a couple of movies that every person should have seen by the time they're 28. Thanks. Love the show. Andy F. St. Cloud, Minnesota. This is sort of a grand email.
Yeah, well, he limits it to a couple, so we don't have to tell him like all the essentials.
Should we say 2 each then?
Well, unless Dan has more, which it looks like he has.
I can't. I'm gonna. But you guys go.
Here's the way I'll interpret this question. I'll interpret this question as, if you want to hang out with me, and want to catch the references that I'm making.
I'm interpreting
for the. Thank you. I feel like there's definitely a couple of prerequisites
to get your vibe.
I
see what you're saying.
There's not a day that goes by, honestly, that I probably don't quote Ghostbusters.
Well, all right.
And if you don't, if you want to get what I'm saying, you're probably going to have to hear me quote Ghostbusters.
Agree.
So you probably should have seen that.
Okay.
Or else you'll think I'm just crazy.
Okay.
I'm talking about, if you ask me if I'm a god, just say yes. Also, Clue. I'm going to say Clue.
Oh, yeah,
I quote Clue a lot. It's kind of a little off the beaten path, perhaps, of people that may not have caught it.
Culty. It's culty.
It's a little culty.
It's culty.
But it's quality.
Yeah.
It's cultwality. I don't know.
I know. I was gonna say, is that an Australian bear?
It is actually. You don't want to get caught in the.
It's a cult quality bear. The cult quality bear? Drop out of a tree, take your ears off.
The outback, the cult quality bear will.
Crazy. They're just ear hunters.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Danzig.
Do quickly as possible. I'm gonna just kind of go through from the chronologically.
You're gonna be like
it's
gonna
be
like
72 movies.
No, it's gonna be like those things for getting a diploma at home. Engineering.
Yeah. Yes.
Or
I wish I could do that. I'm gonna
Gunsmithery.
I'm gonna skip a bunch of things, but as it's been coming to me since we read this email, Sherlock Jr.
What?
One of my favorite Buster Keaton movies, I should say.
Oh.
Sherlock Jr.
Oh my God, we're
fucked.
All right, get
Okay, so
yourself
that's the
comfortable.
30s. Okay. Sherlock Jr.
That's the 30s.
Sherlock Jr.
I was gonna say, I don't know,
Wait.
tits.
Cut into Dan and come back to us. We'll have long white beards.
Yeah.
Singing in the Rain. The Rebel Without a Cause. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Breakfast Club.
Keep going. You're almost there.
Breakfast Club.
Pulp Fiction.
He's not in the 90s.
Pulp Fiction.
I thought he just went to.
No, I had some other 80s ones. Say Anything. Full Metal Jacket. Pulp Fiction.
Your hands are doing.
Matrix. Babel.
Oh my God, Steve hates you right now so much.
And for all the movies I had to look up. And I think that was it.
Okay.
As far as that.
That's a good chunk.
Die Hard.
Of all the.
And Jaws.
Okay. Are you?
Terminator 2.
Okay. Are you? Is it passed, or do you have more to give out?
He's gonna explode in a second.
Okay.
I'm just trying to.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, I saw that.
Okay.
Especially with this thing.
I had two.
I would have. You had two. I'm gonna be somewhere in between, or two. I would say yes to all the stuff you said.
You mean both the stuff I said?
Well, all the stuff.
I said two.
I didn't want Dan to feel bad.
Goodfellas.
Yes to some.
Goodfellas. I needed a mob one. I needed a mob one. I'm trying to get genres. I'm trying to do
all right.
genres. Okay, I'm done.
Please.
I swear.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
It's like he's got Tourette's.
I wanted
Movie Tourette's.
to get the genres.
He's like Rain Man.
It's like they pop out of him.
Now that he's okay, some of the things that he said, not all of them. You can live without seeing all these movies. I'm gonna add to the Ghostbusters thing and say Aliens. Because that's
like
Aliens?
Those are like
because
partner
these
movies.
are the movies that like when you say like what movies do you remember from a kid? I remember seeing Ghostbusters. I remember seeing Aliens. I remember seeing RoboCop. Like these are the movies that I'm like, oh yeah,
an impression
Rambo. You know,
First Blood
Part 2. Yeah, because First Blood is kind of a little weird.
It's a different movie.
Rambo, that movie. I'm gonna say Rain Man just to get the sort of
What?
like.
Interesting.
I am. I'm just gonna.
Ew.
No, because it's.
We didn't even say Star Wars, which is like too obvious to say.
Well, but I don't know. He hasn't said it. It's not on his list of 2 movies.
We're not saying.
Well, look, that'll get you going. That will get you to about 37. When you're 37, send us a new email when we're watching Totally Rad Show 4. Although, no, it'll be Totally
4?
Rad. Yeah, it's the 4th iteration of the show.
Oh.
You know.
With younger us, David Spade and Chris Farley play us. Oh,
They're
sad,
older.
Though. One of them's dead. Sorry.
Well, if you'd like to send us an email just like Andy F.
Oh my God.
Hopefully we're still alive, and you can send it to
If this intro ever ended.
fans@totallyradshow.com.
That's also where you send us a background for the show.
That's true.
And it's also totallyradshow.com is our website where you would go to check out. There's lots of news and fun stuff. Also our forums where there is a thriving community and that we participate in frequently.
Jace.
Also on the website, check out our rad recommendations where you can get some of the things we've talked about this episode. Perhaps Donnie Darko.
It's the best episode.
Perhaps one of my
best
something
episode
from my
we've ever
list.
done.
Oh, I said episode.
That's good. It's a good episode.
Okay.
It struck me so
Donnie
funny.
Darko, Black Hole. Probably on the list.
Wait a second, you got a syllable
Wii
on your
Zapper.
shirt that you dropped. Here, I got it.
A syllable.
Oh, so.
Dude, let me tell you something about trailers.
Dude, no,
Wait,
we're
no,
done.
Let me say.
You
Let me
say
just
my
say.
face. Say my
My
face.
face like I was totally retro. But let me just say real quick.
You're so scatological, dude.
You put the wrong emphasis on the wrong syllable.
Right.
That great that we all said it's hysterical.
Yeah.
No one saw that movie. We all saw the Did you see the movie?
I don't know what movie that is.
A View from the Top with Mike Myers. Exactly, but you know
Oh,
that
you're
saying,
right. That was
it's
Mike
all in the
Myers.
trailer. Trailers.
Trailers.com. What?
What? That's on the website. TotallyRatchet.com. And revision3.com.
All right, gentlemen and lady. Well, before we get to our email, we thought we'd thank our. We want to thank TradePub.com for sponsoring the show. If you want free tech and TV.
Should hope you're not confused.
We'd like to thank TradePub.com for sponsoring this week's episode.
Keep going.
Well, before we get to our email this week, we'd like to thank our sponsors. We'd like to thank TradePub, a bazillion free tech and
I can't wait to find out what tech
Wait,
these guys have.
We'd like to thank our sponsors.
Now you got me, you fucker. Jesus.
All your technology and
Trade.
Entertainment?
entertainment, technical publications. Thank our sponsors, TradePub.com. You can get all your free. TradePub.com is a place where you can get all our email this evening. What the fuck was that?
What?
Did you do something smack?
Oh.
Tech and entertainment magazines.
So before we get to our
It's a place where you can get a whole bunch. I need to know how many. Free subscriptions to tech and entertainment magazine. Before we go any further, and if you sign up today, you can do so at trs.tradepub.com.
Awesome.
There's a lot of cool stuff over there.
Hey, Dan. What about Netflix?
Yeah.
Okay.